up, y'all? Look who is Snoop here. Hey, thank y'all for following me. Thank you guys for subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that link below and subscribe. Look, I'm coming at you live at Remedy Salon Suites South, one of my 4 locations here in Atlanta, Georgia. This is also a franchise brand, so if you're looking to open up your own Remedy Salon Suites location, be sure to contact us at www.remedysalonsuites.com. Look, today I want to show you guys, number one, this is a fully leased location. So we are very, very proud of this location right here on the south side, Morrow, Georgia, Atlanta. But when I first stepped into this location, it was completely empty. It was a shell. And so I want to talk to you guys about how you pick a location that can end up being what you guys will see today, a fully leased, busy, thriving location, right? So I have a restaurant that's actually right here in this plaza. And first and foremost, this is a location that's inside of a plaza. So when our tenants come and when their clients come, they have no issue finding parking. All right, and so speaking of the parking, I'm actually going to show you exactly what the parking looks like, right? So a lot of times when you guys hear us talking about salon suites and what a good location entails, we always talk about something that used to be a medical office or a dental office, right? Because it already has different rooms built out that may have sinks or plumbing or different things of that nature, which is going to lower the cost of what your construction will be. Well, this location did not have either of those things, right? So it was a complete open shell. But sometimes a location of that nature is still a good location. The reason why I felt like that this location was still a good location, even though it did not used to be a medical office or a dental office, is because I was coming to an area that did not have many salon suites, right? And we also had a beauty salon, a beauty store that was right across the street. So the closer you can get to a beauty store, that is just really, really a plus, right? Because who goes to beauty stores? Beauty professionals, right? That's where they go and they get their products, and then they're able to see your location, right? Also, if you just take a look at all of the parking that we have here, so we have access to all of this parking. There is probably over, gosh, what, 60 parking spaces out here, if not more than that. So you always want to make sure that you have an abundance of parking for your tenants. Another thing that I want to point out about this location that's really, really good and that really, made me hop on signing that lease. Look at all of the windows that we have right here, guys. So all of the bright sunlight is able to come in. And when you are doing beauty services, when your tenants are doing beauty services on people, they need that light. They need that bright light, right? So that was something that was truly a benefit, for us picking this location. Also, I'm not going to disclose what my rent is, but a really, really good price on the rent as well. Great landlord. As you're going through the process, that is a time for you to gauge what type of landlord you're going to have. Are they good with communicating, right? Because you're going to have some issues, you're going to have some needs, and you don't need a landlord that's going to take, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get back to you, because that's going to slow down the process of what you can do and issues that you can correct within your business, right? All right, let's go in. I want to show you guys a few other things that made me pick this location and just kind of point out some of the things that I went through in constructing this location. So what you see here was not here. We didn't have any of these things. Again, it was a blank shell. But for somebody like me who had already done 2 salon suites, it was a welcome challenge because I could build out my suites the size that I wanted them to be. I could build out the hallways that I wanted them to be. So I knew that I wanted 2 parallel hallways and that I would have suites on each side and in the middle. When I first started out, I had a lot of double suites, and I just personally have found that single suites sell much more than double suites. So I ended up cutting down a lot of the double suites, and when we first started off, we had 18 suites, and now we have about 24 suites due to me cutting some of those doubles down. So definitely just has kind of helped me, to make more money, right? But we'll start by going down this hallway. As I always teach guys, you don't really need like a big receptionist area. You don't need like a big area, for, your desk and stuff like that. So I always teach that you want to use as much of your square footage as possible to put suites in, because that's what you're making your money off of. We're not making our money off of a receptionist desk, right, in a receptionist area. I ended up keeping this receptionist area as such just because it was already built on a platform. And I just kind of wanted to save the cost and pulling this up. But to be perfectly honest with you, this area really could have been about half of this size. And I totally could have one more additional suite here. So just kind of something to keep in mind as you are in the construction process. Also for you guys that are going through this, I do have an inner circle program. I have a mastermind program. So for those of you that are interested in doing this right and doing it right the first time and making the most money that you can off of your salon suite business, make sure you shoot me an email, helpgrowmybusiness@gmail.com. Now we'll actually peek into this suite right here. This suite owner is not here. But this is a lovely suite. This is a pretty large suite. So this is one of our doubles that we kept. And a lot of times you'll find tenants that will link up together, or they may just kind of run like their mini salon, and actually lease two other tenants to cover their rent. So a lot of little different creative things that you'll find that different tenants will do to be able to pay their rent, right? This right here is our receptionist area. And honestly, it's a pretty large area based upon what I say. But just because of how it is and where it's located, I really couldn't do extra suites back here because this is where our common area is. And so I couldn't block this off. I probably actually could have done maybe like a suite right here from that door till about here. And now that I'm looking at it, I may actually do that. So, but we got 24 suites out of 3,200 square feet, which I feel like is really, really good. My rent is about $3,500 a month. So, definitely, making, a good amount of money here. Now, generally, from you guys following me, you all know that I generally recommend to put a vending machine in the suites. This one, I have my vending machine right here. We actually took it out and sold it because we had a little corner store that opened up in the plaza, so it just didn't make any more sense to do so. And so you have to know when to make those changes within your business and when to make those quickly. This back here is our common area, so it actually saves you on money to actually have a common area. Two, you'll find that a lot of tenants, they don't mind bringing their clients, to a common room. And that gives them a little bit of discount, in their suite price, because of course, if you have a bowl and a dryer inside of your suite, it's just going to be much more expensive. We also, of course, have two restrooms back here, and these water fountains were already here. We don't really utilize those. Most people this day and age, especially after COVID, they ain't trying to drink out of no public water fountains, right? This is one of our suite owners that's been here for a minute. You mind introducing yourself and just telling them why you like being here at Remedy?
Let's see. Oh, still no lights tonight. Hi, I'm Keisha. I'm Keisha's Hair Design. I like the suite, of course, Remedy here because it's a private setting for my clients. I get a lot of people that like that kind of atmosphere. You get to have, close the door, intimate conversations, and they don't feel pressured or by how their hair is looking when they come in. So it's a good atmosphere. It's quiet. It's professional. So it's a great situation.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate you, Keisha. Keisha has actually also been one of our tenants that, kind of helps us keep up the whole salon suite business. So that is something that you can do as well, right? You can offer some of your tenants maybe a little bit of discount, on rent, just to kind of help, with trash, cleanliness, etc. Because in the salon suite business, you are a landlord, right? So I'm a landlord for these tenants. So the thing that I'm responsible for is making sure that the air works, making sure that the lights stay on, making sure that the rent is paid, so that when they come in here, they can run their businesses effortlessly. Okay. You want to make sure that they're able to run their businesses effortlessly. And so that's what we do here in Remedy Spa Salon Suites. But, if you want to do this passively, of course, sometimes you need a little help in doing so, right? And so we appreciate Keisha that's helped us, from time to time in doing that. All right, so this is another aisle of suites that we have, of course. So we went to, you know, barbers, stylists, nail techs, lash techs, estheticians. And so you'll see a little bit of everything working in here on Remedy, right? So he's got a pretty cool little suite, and we can peek in right here, one of our barbers. And the thing that I like is when you get great tenants, you're just able to walk down and just see like a plethora of different suites that are just all decorated really nicely, professionally. We've got some really, really dope tenants here. And this is actually one of our busiest locations. So this is why I wanted to show you guys this location today. One of the things that I do want to comment on is that when we did this location, so this location went out of budget about $15,000, right? So I always tell my students, whatever budget your contractor gives you, budget for at least 10% more, right? Because sometimes as they get into those walls, as they get into different things, they end up seeing things that they would not have seen until they actually kind of get into the nitty gritty of the work. So we had to do some things to the AC, but you know what? I'm thankful that we did, because 5 years in, I haven't had any issues with my air conditioning units. And, you know, when you're in an industry like this and people are excessively using, you know, heat, styling combs, things of that nature, they want the AC pumping. Another thing too that you'll notice about my salon suites is that we always have just pictures of different, you know, beauty services up. We try to do a wide variety of those, you know, just to show, you know, balance, diversity, etc. So, of course, you know, you can design yours like you want to. But when I first started off, I started off with this blue color, in which I started putting inside the suites as well. But now I prefer to actually have the suites white, because that gives like more light. And then they can paint up whatever color that they would like, you know, if they sign a 6 months or a year lease. What's going on, Renzo? How are you? So this is Renzo. Renzo has been with us for, man, probably about 2 years at this point. 4 years. Oh man, that's crazy. So he is one of our tenants that has just been here the longest. We're so appreciative of him. Renzo, what's one of the reasons why we've been able to keep you for 4 years?
I mean, I like how y'all stay on top of stuff. I don't never ever have really have any problems. It's peaceful. It's a decent location.
We appreciate you, Renzo. And so just to let you guys know, so people, one of the biggest things is like, Snoop, how much do I need to really get into this business? You know, how much do I need to get started? And really, guys, that is a relative question, right? Because it depends on which you start with. Okay. It depends on what type of location you start with. You know, are you starting with something that, where it needs very little renovation, or if it needs full renovation? This location I did with about 115,000. All right. And again, remember, I can help you get 150,000 in business funding. All right, guys, so this is Friday, and I really kind of want to stay out of my tenants here so that they can do their thing. But I hope this video was helpful in just showing you how you can go from A to Z, how you can go from a blank shell to a fully built out location that's fully leased, fully busy, some of the issues that you may have, some of the things that are important to your tenants and that keep your tenants around. So again, make sure that you guys follow us at Remedy Salon Suites. Make sure that you subscribe below so that you can keep getting this good content. Peace.